Hey, all you Zealots and Zerglings, it's time for good old-fashioned classic 4 versus 4 on the map Fossil Quarry, where I have spawned as the Blue Zerg with my allies Bocephus the Red Protoss, Spartan as the Purple Zerg, and Contrarian as the Teal Zerg. A lot of these guys have been going random lately, so we're getting a lot of unusual combinations, like 3 Zergs. I don't know if they've quite figured out how to make the best of these builds or not, but it certainly makes for some interesting matchups. But we are going to be going up against Celtic Steel as the Pink Protoss, who already has a scouting probe. He's matched up with Maubalin as the Yellow Zerg, Mad Dog the Green Terran, and Otapod as the Orange Terran. Now, what do we have here for Celtic Steel? He has a piling going up, no forage yet. It does look like his probe is being chased down by Bocephus' probe. And with all these Zergs here, he doesn't have a lot of cannon rush options. I mean, he can't really rush this base. I mean, he could probably squeeze a cannon back here. I think that would be in range. That would be a pain, but it would also probably be easily spotted. There's no room for him to attack this base whatsoever. I mean, he maybe probe cannons here and hit that, but I guess that would also hit Bocephus, so that might not be bad cannon placement. In my base, yeah, again, he could put something back here, but it would be almost immediately spotted, I think. But instead, he's just going to go back home, content to throw down his first gateway. No cannon rush this game, although we see an awful lot of them. And we don't deal with them well if they don't get spotted early. Sometimes they do get spotted early, and we still don't deal well with them. But, you know, I'm always Zerg. Zerg, you can't deal with a cannon rush with Lings, really. It's a losing prospect. It takes 2 cannon shots to kill a Ling. So if there's a cannon rush and we don't catch early enough, I'm like, yeah, you guys handle it. I'm not bothering with that. I'm not going to lose all my Lings to not defend a cannon rush. And we got a nice wall moving up, going up here for Mad Dog and Otapod. Going to be throwing a supply depot there, but unfortunately it looks like he's got this as the SCV that's queued up to do it, so he's got a long way to go because he did not drop that supply depot. And everything else is closed off. He doesn't really need to put this down right now, and it looks like he's going to give up on it. So yeah, I figure the wall's complete now. Might as well not bother. So we got Marine production on the way. It's going to keep that wall pretty tight. And oh, Mad Dog's even going to be kind of sporting a wall over here as well, so this is going to be completely closed off, which would presume they're either preventing any super early Ling rushes, which with all these Zerg on the map is a distinct possibility, or they're just trying to maybe build up some sort of big macro plate, or they just don't want to be bothered or scouted or something. I don't know. I usually think of a complete wall off like that signifies some sort of teching macro. Well, not even macro, because you can't macro inside here. There's no expos in here. You've got to leave in order to expand. Looks like I do have some Lings out on the map. I guess I'm just rallying them over here, grabbing both the watchtowers here, kind of keeping eyes on the center of the map, and spreading my overlords to kind of spot these expansions. This is a good place to hide an overlord, but it's not really good for actually spotting expansions, unless it's Zerg, and then eventually the creep gets out here. But at that point, it's like, maybe I should have spotted that a bit sooner. I guess that's not really relevant at this time, and we got, a couple of cannons going up here. This is interesting. I mean, granted, it's going to be hard to knock down this wall while avoiding the cannons, but this is still a vulnerable place right here. He could have, saved that cannon, thrown a pylon down here, which of course he's now doing, and then thrown a cannon behind that. One cannon is really going to be enough to defend this for a long time. You've got Marines that are going to shoot at anything that's trying to knock down this wall. And it looks like I got some Speedlings already scouting around for expos, which there, of course, are none yet. And probably one of the few times I'm actually going to kind of poke around here. Oh, he's going to poke around here? No, it looks like I'm just checking expos right now. I don't really want to push the front wall because this is usually where everyone parks their units. But I'm going to take a peek in there, and yeah. Gonna lose a couple of Lings there. And looks like Maubalin is going to be helping defend this, although everything is kind of down. Oh, nope, he's going to open up the gates. Send those Lings out. Oh, he grabbed that Marine. Looks like we got shared unit control because he grabbed a Marine in that. Oh, nope, going to send the Marine back. If you got shared unit control, you can drop these supply depots yourself. I didn't see those Lings, but I am going to continue my scout, checking for expos, and there aren't any. Meanwhile, we've got Contrarian expanding. We got Spartan with his expansion up, and mine is under the way. It's a little bit late, however. unfortunately. But it's going to give us a bit of an economic edge. But what are we just going up against? It's just Marine Ling? Protoss hasn't built anything yet except a mothership core, and looks like he's getting ready to cannon the bejesus out of his main. I'm not quite sure yet. Yeah, but it's just Marines and Lings right now. It's unusual. He's going to get another orbital up here. I'm assuming he's going to expand down here. I almost want to build it right here, because then you can just drop it over here. Plus, it's probably not close enough, but if you get it close enough, this might be a more optimum gas mining distance. So while this is turning into an orbital, you're getting a little bit of faster gas income. But, you know, to each their own. It looks like he's building 2 command centers. He's going to take both these expansions? Yes, it's a possibility. Or he could be possibly taking this, but Contrarian does an Overlord here to spot if they're going to try to take down those rocks. Everything is kind of just passive right now. It looks like Mao Balin wants to expand. That drone could get out of those lanes. He's like, guys, dude, I got a job to do. Could you give me some room and get your wings out of my face? Oh, wow. And Otapod looks like, is he going to be expanding again, or is he scouting with that? Where's that SCV going? I mean, he's already got an orbital all done and another orbital on the way, so he's getting ready to expand. Where is this? Or is he just rallying to this point and forgot to drop down the gates before he did so? That's a possibility. No, I don't know what he's doing. And one of the few times I'm actually being active with my Lings. Why am I? Oh, these are. I thought I was over here. I'm like, why am I knocking down the rocks for them? No, I'm just gonna knock down these rocks. I don't know if I'm taking this for myself, or I was just thinking I've got some Lings to spare. Why don't I just do everyone a favor and knock these down quickly? I don't think anyone else has got that much of a force out here. So actually, I'm actually with craplings. Well, I guess speedlings. I am actually the best one to clear this out right now. But we do have Lings on the way from Mao Balin. Getting ready to get aggressive. He doesn't have a Baneling nest, so that's good, but it's a lot of Lings versus a lot of Lings. It looks like a couple of my Lings are going to get a little bit distracted there. It's probably going to cost them their lives. And I'm going to lose an awful lot of drones. Actually, those Lings peeling off might just be the delay tactic I need to get my drones out of there. So an incidental peeling off of some Lings may actually save a majority of my drones. If those Lings had not drawn aggro, those Lings would have been all over those drones. So kind of a little serendipity falling backwards into dumb luck on my part. And I'm glad for it. But yeah, I'm going to have to get a spine up there. I'm going to have to do some defending. It's like, oh yeah, I got some more Lings on the way, because I didn't think I had enough to defend that. But apparently I did have enough to scare him off. It would have been pretty costly for him to try to clear that out. And now I'm going to bust these down, I guess. I don't know what my thought process was on this one, because he can just as easily counterattack as I can. And he does have this base going up. He's going pretty heavy into spine production. I don't know if it's because he knows how many Lings I have out, or it's just the way he behaves. I don't know. It's a lot of spines, but not necessarily crazy, considering how hard it's going to be to defend this until there are bigger armies around. Very hard to defend the expos on this map, and a lot of cannons at the front. I think this is way overkill. You just really need enough to delay and discourage. You don't need enough to just try to crush anything coming through, because it's expensive. And once your mains are mined out, I mean, yeah, you got your tech structures there and maybe some production, but it's not as critical to just come busting up the gut here. You want to hit people's economies. So I really don't know about this. And I'm going to spot this again, see that the rocks have not been touched. And it looks like, oh, see if this is going to scout around with an observer. And a lot of cannons going up. He has an odd place for cannons. Oh, well, looks like I'm just going to kind of go in here and take on the cannons. This one's not going to get many shots off, so doing quite a fair amount of damage here. And some Mutalisks from Ma Balin, but at 3 Mutalisks is not going to be enough to deter this attack. And the cannons are going down. I don't know if it's the most cost-effective way of clearing it out, but this base is going down. Oh, but that spine is just in the perfect position to kind of pull off some of my Lings. I don't even know if I noticed that. And we're like, yeah, I'll focus down the Nexus. He's going to get a Photon overcharge in there, but it's not going to be enough to save it. And then we got to get the Lings out of there. Get the Lings out of there. Already taken a lot of damage, but I did manage to take out a base. Even trade? Possibly. He's taken a lot of losses, but I don't know how much of that may have occurred due to other losses here and there, but I think that's probably worth it. Slowed down his economy considerably, I'm sure. as I'm sure his main is getting a little bit low on resources, and he's gonna have to rebuild that. We got a Fleet Beacon and a Twilight Council. That's awful expensive considering he doesn't really have a second base right now, and he barely had this one set up as it was. And again, a little overboard on the cannons. I mean, yeah, it'll probably discourage another attack, but think of the money that he's spending here. I took out, what, 4 or 5 cannons, and now there's another 4 going down. And just think of how much minerals he's actually going to pull out of this. And you're starting to realize that a lot of this money is going into defending the money to put these down, to get the money to put these down. Am I making my point here? Am I making my point? I hope so, but it's been a pretty quiet game otherwise. A couple of little laying attacks here, some more successful than others. And what we got here? Oh, this Overlord. Oh, it looks like Contrarian does have some Mutalisks out, but even with the 1-1 upgrades, I don't know if he's got enough to take this force on. Did not finish off that Overlord, though, so he's going to be like, I'm just going to park right back here again. Fine, you're going to kill me? I will come back even stronger or weaker, because I'm an Overlord and I really don't do that much. We'll see if it's putting a few cannons up here, kind of covering anything sniping from the back, and then one right in the mineral line to just kind of protect the workers from anything else. And it's a really quiet game. A lot of creep spread coming down. It looks like it's mostly from Contrarian, doing some fantastic creep spread. This whole bottom quadrant of the map is just completely covered in creep. My creep is not doing as well. I got a creep tumor out here, almost connecting my bases. Got some nominal defenses here. Still quite a lot of defenses, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Mutalisks are out, though, so getting spores around are definitely going to help discourage their movement around the map. Contrarian getting a bigger Mutalisk force. Is he researching any +2? Where is that Spire? Oh, Double Spire. Double Spire, he's not researching +2 yet. I think that's a bit of a waste. If he's not going to get these upgrades as quick as he can, then the Double Spire seems kind of a waste. I mean, yeah, he's going to have his +1 armor a lot faster, like he does, but at the cost of another 200 that he could be using to get another 2 Mutalisks. So I think he needs to make use of these a lot faster. It looks like we got quite a force moving up here. We've got Otopod, which is mainly Bioforce, mostly Marines, +1/+1. Mad Dog is getting some Thors, which he does have in the high-impact payload. I don't know if that's the right choice. They don't really know what we have yet. They've seen Lings, and I don't know if they've seen Contrarian's Mutalisks yet, but this is not a good form for Mutalisks, and that's the only air they've really seen. What's going on here? Oh, looks like Spartan has lost an Overlord, 2 missile turrets, and you can... Oh, look at all these missile turrets going down. Again, and against Mutalisks, no less. Let me see. Basic missile turret costs 100. So we got 300, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 1,000 minerals to protect this base from an air attack. And that is almost, that's 2/3 of mineral patch. He's using 2/3 of this to defend this base. Plus all the mining time that it took all those SCVs to build these. With the armies right here. I just don't know about this. Plus you got this base up here, which is going to kind of provide an early warning so you can get some anti-air down here if you need to. It makes more sense maybe to put some extra missile turrets up here because it'll defend this one a little bit as well. And it looks like, oh, some Lynx or Contrarian are going to run in there and kind of get pasted. And oh, careful of those Mutalisks. There's a lot of Marines there, and they will actually destroy that. Roach Hydra might not be a bad idea here. And the Mutalisks are going to try to get in there. I don't know if it's going to be to their benefit or not. And the ranks are thinning out. The lines are wide out. It looks like the infantry is starting to fade, and the Hydralisks are maybe the only ones remaining. Oh, but no, they're running out quickly too. And no, it was not enough. Huge damage on both sides, but there's still a fairly threatening army right here. It's small, but it can do a lot of damage very quickly. And it's starting to do it. And Mao Balin's gonna provide his mutiling to the fight. And Contrarian's expansion is suddenly in some trouble. And we're massing out here. It's basically just Lings. My Lings are coming to the fight too. Contrarian's Lings are 2/2. My Lings are also 2/2, but they're not exactly helping just yet. And oh, that Thor's got 1 hit point on that Thor. One more hit from anything and it's gone, but we need to get something in there. Oh, and looks like the spine is going to poke him to death. And, oh, we got some more Thors on the back end, but they're kind of getting trapped up in all these reinforcements, and they're not going to be able to fully support this force right here. Contrarian's losing a lot of Mutalisks to those Marines, because Mutalisks do not fare well against Marines. Almost ever. But this should clean it up, but was it worth it? I don't know. And it looks like, oh, Spartan was going to try to counterattack this base, but he failed to figure that there might be some reinforcements over here. And with all these Marauders, it's just going to decimate his roaches. But I think Bocephus has got a good unit composition here. He's got Zealot, Archon, Colossus with some Stalkers to provide anti-air and a little bit of range damage. But he needs to get his army in position. The Archons will help defend the back here. Yeah, they're going to go to town on this, but he needs those Colossi up here doing damage on the Thors while they have meat shield Zealots in front of them. But instead, his army's getting split up. The Archons are still focusing on the Mules. The Zealots are all dead, and now the Colossi are undefended. Oh, that was not well microed. And he's going to have to try to run these away. He'd almost be better running them up here, because the Thors cannot chase them. If he can walk up here, and walk down here, the Thors can't chase them, but it looks like the Thors are going to retreat anyhow. He had a good composition there, but he got his forces split up. They were not covering each other's backs, and he just got slowly picked apart. Meanwhile, Contrarian has managed to pick off the space with his lane. These Thors probably could have defended that. Where'd that Archon come from? Did Bocephus just leave his Archons there to die? And so he's got Spartan's still got some Hydros alive. I don't know how that's possible, but he's using them to great effect. Park them behind the mineral line, and yeah, they will just start chewing apart SCVs. But yeah, he's kind of cornered. I didn't think it was going to last that long, but probably doing a little bit of damage on units that he really couldn't retreat out of there at that point. Maybe he could have earlier, I don't know. So a lot of damage dealt, a lot of armies slaughtered, and a couple of bases taken out. Looks like Contrarian's gotten that back up again, but they're already aware that this is the case. And we're going to find something to deal with this massive Thor force, which seems to be the biggest threat right now. Fully upgraded Thors. Looks like he's kind of given up on putting him in a high-impact payload, and that's probably a correct decision. He's not seeing any heavy air that he needs that for. And I thought I still saw somebody that was in high-impact payload. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess he's just going to go for the irregular, what do they call them? Explosive payload. Yeah, I think it's called explosive payload. And, ooh, another Thor Marine Force moving out with some Viking support. A lot of medevacs. This could be deadly, and this is not enough to stop that. This is not going to be enough. A couple more macro hedges for Contrarian, but I think they might be some of the earliest casualties here. We really need some Banelings in this force. I always occasionally try to get up a Baneling nest, but I'm just never good at making them in time. I see the army, and it's just too late to get them quite done and in position. But sometimes do it. And he's going to land those Vikings because there's nothing for them to shoot at, so you might as well get that extra DPS and that extra beef to absorb a few shots, and they do that to great effect. And, oh, Contrarian's going to try to throw down some spines. The problem is he needed to do this when this battle started, not now that it's over, because when the enemy is at your front door, it is too late to build spine crawlers. These two are not going to finish. The Broodlings and the Queen will provide temporary stall, but, you know, they're not going to finish. So it's looking pretty dire, but meanwhile, on the other side here, looks like I finally got my Ultralisks up with some Colossi Stalker here. We got some Void Rays from Celtic Steel. This is maybe a good response because we have really nothing good to deal with this right now. But with Archons and Zealots and Ultralisks running rampant in the base, and they're still focusing on the Stalkers, it's going to be a bit of a problem here. I mean, they're still going to have these two Void Rays to deal with, but we're running rampant in their bases. We've broken down the front door. Well, we're breaking down the front door. It's not going to be much of a front door left here in a second. And oh, those drones! Where did they go? Where did the drones go? I saw the drones go in. Did they come out? They went in there. Did they come out? I didn't see any drones come out of there. Oh, it's brutal. And, oh, looks like, oh, Mao Balin's given up. And we still have some Void Rays to deal with here. Actually, the Archons are dealing with that fantastically. Plus, oh, full upgrades on the Archons. Yeah, that's going to be hard for Void Rays to deal with. Especially since Void Rays do tend to clump up just a bit. Which really benefits the Archons, who do not take any bonus damage from Void Rays whatsoever. It looks like Spartan's just giving up and throwing Lings into the battle now because where did all those Thors go? Looks like the Thors have given up gutting our expansions, and they're kind of on their way home. Looks like I sent my Ultralisk here to help out, which Ultralisk is not great against Thors. You'd think otherwise, but no, Ultralisk do not really fare that well against Thors. And those large numbers, the Thors are going to give him a lot of damage. And he's going to try to unpower those, keep any more Void Rays from coming out. 1 gateway's Stargate's unpowered, 2, 3, 4, all the Stargates are now unpowered, which means those Void Rays are not going to be showing themselves anytime soon. And Mount Balin, who's no longer here, is going to have to do well, it's going to be losing his base. And it looks like Otapod is going to try to bring his forces back. The Vikings will do great trying to thin out this Colossi. And I think they should have enough. And yeah, the Spores are actually dealing a lot to the Colossus too, because he's busy shooting at other things. And yeah, this is going to be enough to clean this up. But where did my Ultralisk? My Ultralisk is kind of retreated, and Contrarian and Spartan now just seem to be streaming out Lings, which is going to be really tough for them to deal with, because they're fast and they're still trying to clean up their own bases. So this side of the map's pretty gutted. This base is still running for Celtic Steel, and he's trying to throw down a ton of Stargates, see if he can get that Void Ray production up and running again. And that could help them if we don't have anything good against it. Contrarian's still got some Mutalisks, fully upgraded Mutalisks, but he's going to need enough to deal with the Void Rays that are about to come out here. So he's going to need to make a lot more Mutalisks and try to stay away from those Thors wherever they went. Well, it looks like the Thors are not content to save the bases right now. They want to get up a big army and go on the offensive, I would assume. I still have all these Ultralisks here. I don't think I want to deal with these Thors head-on if I don't have to. Or at least not without support. Or I'm catching these Thors that kind of got split from the pack. That is a big mistake. He does not want to get his Thors separated because they're only uber powerful in these big clumps. In smaller clumps, they can be dealt with the Ultralisks and the Lings. And see, this is what happens when they're in big clumps. Even the Lings that can do a lot. Well, actually, I don't know how upgraded those Lings were. Maybe these 3 Lings can do it. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to try to take my Ultras in here. They're doing pretty well, but as you can see, they're just starting to slowly disintegrate. And with the Marauders in here as well, with their fully upgrades, yeah, it just was not enough. And the Thors are now critically damaged. And if we can just deal with the infantry, the Thors may not be that big a threat. Oh, Spartan's long distance mining, but he's just marching his drones into a meat grinder right now. Meanwhile, we still got Lings here from Contrarian, and I assume Spartan still has some Lings lurking around somewhere that are doing a lot of damage. And look, again, another Thor. He's kind of stuck without his group. And he's also on the move command. He's probably got a rally point, and he's not defending himself. And the Lings are going to get this around and finish it off. And Otapod is being revealed. Spartan's still trying to send some Lings in, but it's just you can't trickle Lings into a force like this. Here we go. Bocevius has got some Stalkers. The Zealots are not in the front, though, which means they're just bumping into each other, not doing anything. They're not absorbing damage. They're not dealing any damage. And that means that this defense is not going to be effective as it could be. And the Archons are on the low ground. I don't think he can engage right here. He's got to swing them around, meet them in more of an open area, and try to deal with it then. And it looks like I've got some more Ultras up, but he does still have a lot of Marauders in this force. I've got him pinned down. You can back yourself into a corner, but there's not really any good hiding holes. Oh, and he's going to lift up, and those Archons are not in a position to snipe those. Oh, but if he had some High Templar to feedback on that, maybe I could yoink one of those. Well, that wouldn't do any good. You have to yoink it into the Archons, and it looks like they're going to get away. But look, he doesn't have a lot of units left. Just a handful of Marines and Marauders left in that force. And it looks like Celtic Steel has managed to get up his Void Rays again. And how are we going to deal with this? Our anti-air solutions are limited. Oh, looks like we happen to find some more Thors. I don't know how these Thors got separated. And this should be enough Ultralisks to deal with it at this point. Yep. They needed that clustered DPS. That's when Thors really become a problem. And, oh man, he's getting so many Thors out, and I think Contrarian may have lost some of his Mutalisks. There certainly seem to be fewer than there once were. And the Void Rays are still pushing, and he's still adding to them. And it looks like a bunch of Spores are trying to go up. Oh, for me, it looks like I'm trying to throw up a bunch of Spores, because I know we need to delay these and thin these Void Rays out as much as possible, so as much damage as we can get down on them is going to be easier to deal with them. And yeah, they're hitting from long away, so there goes another Void Ray. Just as much DPS as I can get on these Void Rays as possible. Delay, pick away. Everything we can possibly do to slow this down. Oh, my Ultralisk Cavern is possibly vulnerable if he sweeps this way. But I still have Ultralisk up. I'm chasing around his Bio Ball. He's trying to kite them as best he can, which is why when they came out with Heart of the Swarm, they wanted to give Ultralisk to Burrow Charge, but they ended up removing that. And oh, he's trying to load up. It looks like he didn't quite get everyone up there, however. Having Lings there definitely helped keep him from kiting, because if he's trying to kite against Ultralisk while Lings are pecking at him, it's going to be a bit of a problem. But the Void Rays are still running rampant. Oh, I need to get a hatchery up here or something to kind of keep these Spores from dying, because they do still count as buildings that have to be destroyed. But now we are pushing into their heart. A lot of Ultras, some Stalkers to provide some anti-air, and there's not much here to stop them. They really need these Void Rays over here. There should still be enough Void Rays to deal with these Stalkers, I think. It's close. It's very close. With Prismatic Alignment, you'd be surprised how much damage these Void Rays can do. But he's about to lose another one, and some Stalkers are going to move in here, do a little bit more damage, going to blink forward. Oh, is he trying to focus down the Hive? I think that was the wrong choice. He needs to focus down these Stalkers. The Hive's not really doing much right now. My Ultralisk Cavern is still up, and oh, he's going to lose these Void Rays. That, I think, was probably their best chance right there, was those Void Rays, because now my Ultralisk is just gutting their base right now. And it looks like the base race has decidedly tipped into our favor. They're still trying to destroy that anti-air, and oh, I think this Void Ray is also going to do. Even my Queen's going to get in there, and yep. Oh, and even a Transfuse on the Mutal. That's because Queen has an awful lot of energy. And I think that's going to do it. They've lost all their Thors. They've lost all their Void Rays. The small infantry is not going to be enough to get it done. I mean, I could use this money I have and make enough Lings to take care of the Spores. And they can't hide in the medevacs forever. But we're base racing now. I think, though, it's pretty well decided. We need to speed this up a little bit. I mean, he's still mining. Well, he did get another Void Ray Force up. But it's getting really hard. He doesn't have the gas for it. And Mad Dog, oh, Mad Dog's trying to furiously rebuild, trying to get out some more Thors. But, oh, he is unsurvivably supply block. That's not the word. Unsurvivably? Insurmountably supply. Oh, wow, he actually did get unsupply block, but that's partly because he's losing stuff, too. And I think there were some GGs there. The base race continues, but I think we've got a massive upper hand, and Celtic Steel is about to lose his only mining base, which is actually not really mining anymore. And there seems to be enough Stalkers here to take care of the rest of the Void Rays that were waiting to join these Void Rays, which are actually still going to town. So it's not quite over yet. I don't know. I mean, they still have a force, but can they deal with everything? It looks like I did finally lose those Spores, unfortunately. I almost need to unburrow these just to give extra. No, it looks like they're just gonna die. So it's just gonna be a matter of cleaning everything up. Maybe this is just gonna be a raw base race, because we don't seem to have any anti-air to deal with this right now, except these Stalkers are way back here. This Orbital, I don't think is going to make it. And if we look at the structure, let's look at the structures tab. If we ignore all the creep tumors, it's looking pretty. Oh, they just have this. This is their last building. They basically have to hide this from any air force until they can kill off all our buildings, which are decidedly small as well. Spartan has this spotted. Do we have any air units that can do anything about this? I have 3 Spores here and a Queen. I'm going to defend it from ground, and the Void Rays are going to take a lot of damage to try to take this on head on. So we're going to try to do this. Oh, looks like, we do have Stalkers that are in range. That building is not protected, and I think that's going to be it. And, wait, let's back that up. I think there was actually someone trying to attack my buildings here. Yeah, the Thors are going to try to come in here. I'm going to clean those up. You got to take out the Spores, not the Queen. You got to take out the Spores. Those are the buildings that count. Burn, baby, burn. And that is going to be it. A base I actually thought that was over, but it actually turned out very close. And I do remember I put these little spores here just to kind of defend those. They had not enough ground to take these on, and they just pretty much had to run the void rays in and hope they could take those out before we could snipe their last command center. Oh, well, that was exciting. I hope you enjoyed this game, and have a day.